Hi, everyone. Thank you for this honor to speak to all of you gathered there together for the New Jersey School Board Association's conference. You all have so much to discuss. These issues are of critical importance as we in this state embrace our mission, which is to nurture and cultivate the greatest of all our natural resources, the genius and potential of our young folks, of our students. I want to speak to you about how New Jersey schools can help tackle one of our nation's most important issues, our changing climate. 2 years ago, Congress passed an extraordinary bill, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which made historic investments in our nation's roads, bridges, railways, and water infrastructure. The bill also set our country on a path to a future of clean and renewable energy. Among those investments was $5 billion over the next 5 years to replace existing school buses with zero emissions and clean school buses. This was a major part of some of the things that I was fighting for to get into this bill, because I know the importance and the impact it can make on communities that often have extraordinarily high rates of asthma and other respiratory challenges. Clean air should be a fundamental right for every child and for every community. We put $1 billion in funding over the next 5 years so that the EPA is providing schools with a priority on low-income rural districts. We wanted to make sure that schools that are struggling often to make ends meet have the resources, not just to invest in the education of our children, but to invest in their environmental justice. So this is important. School buses are so important. They're the safest mode of transportation for our students to get to and from school. But we know that the diesel emissions from exhaust have dangerous levels of particulate matter that can impact the health of our children. Look, I have spent my entire professional life living in Newark, 25 plus years since I came out of law school. And I know intimately my community, and the leading cause of absenteeism is asthma. We have a disproportionate rate of childhood asthma when compared to a lot of other places in our nation. We see this in too many urban school districts. So I'm proud of the work that's being done now in New Jersey by incredible groups like New Jersey Clean Cities and the Sierra Club to encourage schools to take advantage of this funding that we got into this bill. We can do this together, aggressively, looking to replace those dirtier school buses with clean, electric, or low-emission, newer buses. This is a chance for us to give children that fundamental right that should be an American birthright, clean air. And we know that there is a connection between clean air and success in school, between clean air and not having asthma, between clean air and not missing school, or worse, what we're seeing, too many of our children end up in hospital emergency rooms with asthma attacks. I hope you'll consider participating in this EPA program next year. I'm going to continue to fight to get wins like I have for a cleaner air quality in our state. I've been the leader on getting tree planting, thousands of trees, billions of dollars to help get more forest or more tree covers, more canopy covers in our communities. I fought to get the lead pipes and the resources out of our soil. I fought to get resources to get our Superfunds in New Jersey cleaned up. I believe in environmental justice, and I'm going to keep leading on those things here in Congress. But this work can't be successful just from your senator. All of us must lead and make the cause of environmental justice, make the cause of all of our children having clean air, clean water, clean soil around them, a nurturing environment so that they can grow and thrive. Together, we can achieve this goal. Thank you all for your commitment, for your leadership, for your love of our children. I wish you continued success. Thank you for giving me this privilege of fighting for these issues here in Washington for you and bringing home the resources you need to our great state of New Jersey. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Senator Booker, for introducing our webinar and for your role in allocating over $5 billion of federal funds to help local school districts transition their fleet of diesel school buses to zero-emission battery electric buses. My name is Bill Barron. I'm a volunteer with the New Jersey chapter of the Sierra Club. As the host of this webinar, I also thank you for watching. The benefits of electric school buses, or ESBs, are clear. Gone is the black carbon pollution from diesel fuel that pours out on the streets and creeps into bus cabins, adding to the high rate of childhood asthma in our urban school districts. Gone is the engine noise that can distract bus drivers and monitors. And gone are the high maintenance costs and the huge swings in diesel prices that play havoc with school district budgets. Yet, we are very much in the initial stages of this transition. School bus manufacturers are still ramping up production of electric school buses. School districts across the country that were early adopters have identified and resolved many of the kinks and issues that cropped up. So learning from their experience will help you achieve a smoother transition. The New Jersey chapter of the Sierra Club, along with our partners, Environment New Jersey and the Clean Cities Coalition of New Jersey, is leading the effort to educate school districts about the benefits of electric school buses and about funding opportunities that will help school districts buy them without busting school budgets. Our efforts include successfully lobbying for dedicated state funding for electric school buses, publishing a buyer's guide which offers simple but comprehensive information for planning, purchasing, and operating electric school buses, and maintaining a web page with helpful reference material on ESBs to help guide you through the transition away from diesel buses. We work closely with local dealers to hold in-person roadshows so that school administrators and transportation supervisors can see these buses up close and pose their questions directly to experts and utility representatives about how best to incorporate ESBs into their fleets. And finally, we work closely with state and federal agencies to bring you news about new and innovative funding options. In this webinar, you will hear experts in their fields present the best practices to plan for and buy electric school buses, including how to approach your local utility and your local planning and zoning boards to make the transition to electric as easy and problem-free as possible. Our speakers include Lily Black from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Region 2 and Peg Hanna from New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, who will discuss how to successfully apply for grant money. Our third speaker is Brad Denker from EV Resource Group, a consulting firm that has worked with over 50 schools and other fleet owners to plan the physical infrastructure needed to support electric school buses. Finally, Dawn Neville from Public Service Electric and Gas will tell you how and when to approach the 4 major utility companies in the state so that the charging stations are there and powered up before your buses arrive. Our webinar also includes interviews with the students and staff at the Patterson Charter School for Science and Technology, who will give firsthand accounts of their experiences with their brand new electric school bus. To access our webpage, please Google New Jersey Sierra Club Electric Bus Campaign. If you are attending the School Board Association's 2023 workshop here in Atlantic City, please stop by booth 491 and talk to our volunteers about making the switch to electric school buses. Our first speaker today will be Lily Black, a mobile source air quality specialist with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. Lily will be discussing the various incentive programs offered by the federal government for school districts to purchase electric school buses. Lily, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Bill. Thank you for having me. Just to reiterate, my name is Lily Black. I am from the EPA, and I'm going to talk to you today about our Clean School Bus program. And we have new exciting news, which is great. So to begin, the Clean School Bus program is $1 billion that has been allotted to the EPA to fund clean and electric school buses over 5 years. And so this came out in fiscal year 2022, and it will go through 2026. And the Clean School Bus program is broken up into 2, rebates and grants. Rebates are a quick and simple application process. You can apply for 1 to 25 buses, and it is a lottery selection. And the exciting news is that the second round of rebates just opened yesterday on September 28th. There will be at least $500 million awarded throughout the country. You can request up to $345,000 per electric school bus and infrastructure for prioritized applicants. And then you can also, this is new to this round, request up to $20,000 per bus for ADA compliant wheelchair lifts. Also new for this round, 60% of funds will go to prioritize applications and 40% to non-prioritize. So this will be good to encourage suburban schools to apply to see that we can get as much funding out to our states as possible. And then there will also be more flexibility towards fuel types, whereas before electric got the priority. Now, whatever the first applicant is that is chosen through the lottery process will be selected regardless of the fuel type they have requested. And then I also recommend you to refer to the program guide for more details. And this can be found on the Clean School Bus website on EPA's website. And the deadline for applying is January 31st, 2024 at 4 p.m. And no late applications are accepted. So it's crucial to get yours in before this time. And then so just to quickly go over, we do have grants as well. These are more detailed and complex applications, but you can request 15 to 100 buses, and they undergo a competitive grant review and scoring process. And there currently isn't a grant program opened, as we had one open this summer, and we are now reviewing applications. And so in order to stay up to date on all new Clean School Bus information, we recommend that you sign up for the Clean School Bus listserv that can be found on EPA's Clean School Bus website to stay on top of news and any other resources that might become available. There's also a new tax incentive available through the IRS Commercial Clean Vehicle Credit, which is now permissible with the Clean School Bus program. You can request a max credit of $7,500 for qualified vehicles with a gross vehicle weight rating of under 14,000 pounds and 40,000 for all other vehicles. There's more details as to what you may be, what eligible entities are and what the vehicles you are requesting must be as well. And so in order to claim this credit, you need to fill out a form, but the IRS is still finalizing this form. But it's even more of a reason to be on the Clean School Bus listserv so that you can be made aware of when that form becomes available. The Department of Energy also has the alternative fuels data center list, which lists federal and state incentives, which can also be good to take advantage of. And so now just some important last steps to wrap up. It's crucial to connect with your utility to find out what your current grid capacity is, what your charging needs are. We recommend that you utilize the Electric Utility Pledge fillable form, which is found on EPA's Clean School Bus website, which helps facilitate that. You should perform a route and fleet analysis to know which types of buses you want and what buses do you plan on scrapping, because there is a scrappage requirement, which more details can be found in the program guide. But if you don't have any that are eligible to scrap, do you have any buses that are eligible to sell or donate? It's important to research your bus certification needs and if there are any Build America, Buy America requirements for EV chargers, which there still are. And also let your Board of Education know as soon as possible that you're looking to apply for this program so that you can get early buy-in from the board so you can submit your application in time without waiting to the last second to get your votes in. And then it's also crucial to take or to have an active sam.gov account. And this is just so that you are able to apply for this. And then also it's good to take advantage of all the technical resources posted on the Clean School Bus website. You can just go there, scroll around, look to see what you can find, because there's tons of resources that we have created that can help you on your Clean School Bus transition. And so just to reiterate, before we close, the current rebate program opened yesterday, September 28th, and it will remain open through January 31st, 2024 at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No late applications will be accepted. That's a hard deadline. So start playing today and good luck.
Thanks, Lily. That was very informative. Appreciate you being with us today.
Yep. Thank you, Bill.
Our next speaker will be Peg Hanna. Peg is the director of the newly formed Division of Climate Change Mitigation and Monitoring at New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. In that role, she oversees decarbonization initiatives, clean and renewable energy strategies, and operation of the state's air monitoring network. Peg is going to talk to us today about what school districts need to know and do in order to qualify for state electric school bus grants. Peg, it's all yours.
Thanks, Bill. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, depending on what part of your day you're listening to this in. New Jersey DEP has been funding electric vehicles for several years now, focusing its spending on the vehicles that operate in overburdened communities. To date, we have given $86 million for 238 electric school buses operating in our urban areas throughout the state using a combination of several different funding sources. 17 are actually on the road in operation, and we are very excited for the remainder of those 238 to be up and running very soon. Because we've been doing this for several years now, we have some lessons learned that we wanted to share with all of you. So this is based on our experience working with all different kinds of recipients of our federal funding, of our grant funding, I'm sorry. First of all, first pro tip, it helps NJDEP immensely to have a dedicated point person to work with. And that's not, by that, we don't mean a consultant or a bus dealer, but a contact at the company or the Board of Ed that is going to be responsible for obtaining all the necessary information for the grant agreement, as well as obtaining the correct signatures. Second tip, projects where the recipient has worked closely with the bus dealer have run very smoothly, since those bus dealers are experts in the operation of electric school buses, and they will give you good, sound technical advice. Third piece of advice is the grantees that use cooperative purchasing agreements seem to have the easiest process moving forward. It gives them a starting point and assurance that the pricing is good. And most grantees are familiar with cooperative purchasing because they've used it for other types of purchases. Finally, you need to have a good knowledge of how the buses operate. You need to understand that they have a limited range. They need to be charged for certain lengths of time. And you also need to be aware that our New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission has requirements for size and seating of school buses. So make sure you understand not only the advantages of electric school buses, but also their limitations, and incorporate that into your grant application. Challenges that I don't necessarily have advice for are supply chain. Supply chain issues are impacting many things throughout the country, including electric vehicles and charging stations, including electric school buses. This is the biggest headache that we all have experienced so far in procurement and in trying to get this money out the door. So let's look ahead now. This is a very cursory comparison of a program that we expect to launch early next year versus EPA's newly announced, just moments ago, Clean School Bus Rebate Program. So I'm going to focus on the New Jersey School Bus Program column. So this program, which is hoped to launch in January or so, will be using a $15 million legislative appropriation. It will be only for the larger school buses with Class C and D, so we will not be doing Class A and B school buses at this time. We will also only be funding electric school buses, no repowers, although leasing is possible. You can see the funding amounts listed here. We anticipate, including the cost of the charger, giving you up to $270,000 if you are not a priority community, or up to $300,000 if you are a priority community. And we anticipate funding up to 16 buses per applicant. For priority districts, we use our definition of overburdened communities. And you can see the numbers there, several hundred priority districts. And we will also require that the bus be in service for 5 years. Our very, very preliminary review of the just announced EPA Clean School Bus Rebate Program is provided for your convenience on the right. I would strongly recommend that you do not rely on this and that you actually read the Notice of Funding Opportunity that came out. But just for comparison purposes, you can see at quick glance the difference in funding amounts, the difference in the number of buses funded, and the very big difference in the number of priority districts. Thank you.
Thanks, Peg. We appreciate your time today, and that's a lot of good information for the school districts to take back with them. Our next speaker is Brad Denker. Brad is the Vice President of EV Resource Group, a consulting company that provides turnkey EV consultation, design, construction, and maintenance support. Brad has consulted with over 50 school districts in the state to date. Brad's going to discuss key lessons learned to help make the transition to electric school buses easier. Brad, thanks for joining us, and the screen is yours.
Thank you, Bill. It's a pleasure to be able to speak with everybody today. As Bill stated, my name is Brad Danker, and I'm with EV Resource Group, and I'll be speaking with you today about EV infrastructure and some of the steps in infrastructure development that can help you prepare for your electrification needs. Please understand that this is a very crucial component in the electrification process, as the electric vehicle will only be as good as the charging infrastructure and equipment that is implemented for the vehicle. As we only have a short period of time to discuss this with you, we will not be able to get into every detail, but we will try to highlight some of the main steps that should help with the transition to electric school buses. Let's start by discussing how this process starts. The first step is to contact an EV contractor or consultant that understands EV charging in the fleet industry. This contractor consultant will want to start by completing a site assessment to verify some of the following items. 1, verify the location in which you would like to charge the buses. 2, determine which type of vehicles and the quantity of vehicles that you're looking to purchase. 3, discuss the potential routes that these vehicles will be making. And 4, determine if the existing electrical service will be able to operate the chargers or if a new service or service upgrade will be required. This site assessment will determine the next step in the process and will also provide enough information to determine which type of chargers and the size of service that will be required to keep your fleets operational. If a new service or service upgrade is required, the next step in the process will be to coordinate with the local utility provider. This is an extremely important step, as this process could take 6+ months from initiation to completion. The sooner you start this process, the better you will be when it's time to start construction. Your contractor or consultant will need to prepare and submit a service application to the utility provider and request a site visit with the utility provider engineer. This site visit, along with the service application, will provide the utility company with enough information to develop an initial design and to provide a cost estimate for the new or upgraded service. Once the contractor or consultant receives the cost estimate from the utility provider and the initial design of the service, the preliminary design for the overall project can commence. This will be a collaborative effort between the end user, the contractor, and the engineer to ensure that the design project meets your expectations, abides by local and federal guidelines, will be sustainable, maintainable, safe, and aesthetically pleasing, as well as to ensure that any future charging needs have been taken into consideration. It is very important to have a future plan in place prior to finalizing the design to ensure that the additional electrification needs that you are looking at implementing in the future are taken into consideration and that the initial design process. This is also the time that your contractor should be able to put together a project estimate to include all costs that will be required for your infrastructure work, including the new service if required, construction, and equipment. Please discuss with your contractor any possible warranty or maintenance options that may be available for your equipment. This is extremely important, as this is a large investment and you want to ensure that your equipment is protected so that your fleets remain operational. The next step in the process will be permitting. This is always my favorite part of the project. Once a final design has been agreed upon by all parties, a permittable set of construction documents can be created to submit to the local jurisdiction for both zoning and building permits. Please note that if zoning approval will be required for your project, it is important to have a current site survey of your property in place prior to starting the process. If you do not have a current site survey of your property, the survey should be initiated prior to this step to ensure that there aren't any time delays in waiting for the survey. Depending on the local jurisdiction, the permitting process can be a quick and easy process or could take several months for approval. It is important to start this process well prior to your estimated construction start date. The zoning process could take a month, sometimes longer, for approval. Your contractor will be required to submit a zoning application, a set of construction drawings, and a current site survey. If the proper information is submitted upon the initial submission, it will make this process easier and typically shorter for approval. If the proper information is not submitted, this process can be prolonged, with the local jurisdiction sending numerous comments and requests for additional information. Once zoning approval is received, the building permit process will begin. This is similar to zoning and can take a month or longer for approval. Again, it is imperative to provide a complete application with the proper information upon the initial application to ensure approval in a timely manner. Once all permits have been approved, a construction schedule can be implemented and work can commence. Again, in ending, let's recap some of the necessary steps involved in the infrastructure process. 1, site assessment. This will establish a potential location for the charging infrastructure, determine if a new service will be required, and decide the charging equipment that will be required for your application. 2, utility coordination. If a new service is required, this will initiate the project with the local utility company and provide an initial design for the service and a cost for the new service. 3, design. This is where the infrastructure ideas get put on paper in preparation for the next steps for permitting and construction. 4, permitting. This will be the final process prior to construction commencing. Hopefully this presentation has been helpful. Please keep in mind that we are here to help in any way that we can. If you're looking at electrifying your fleet and have any questions or need guidance, please feel free to contact us and we'll be sure to help in any way possible.
Thanks, Brad. One question I have is, what's the actual time frame, do you think, for this process to take once the school district decides to proceed?
If they have the existing electrical service in place that'll run the chargers that are required, it could take 4 to 6 months. If they do not have the service that's required, it could take anywhere from 6 months to 2 years.
Thanks a lot. I think that gives the school districts some guidance as to how to proceed and all the things that they need to look at while they're considering electrification of their school buses. Appreciate your being with us today, and thank you for your input.
Thank you very much.
Our next speaker will be Dawn Neville. She is the manager for electric transportation at Public Service Electric and Gas. Dawn will discuss what school districts need to know to hook up their electric vehicle chargers to the utility grid while minimizing problems and minimizing delays. Thanks, Dawn, for appearing with us, and please proceed.
Thank you, Bill. Hello, everyone. As Bill said, I'm Dawn Neville, the manager of electric transportation at Public Service Electric and Gas Company. In this role, I oversee PSE&G's electric vehicle charging program for light-duty vehicles and lead the efforts in developing a strategy to support medium and heavy-duty vehicle electrification. I'd like to speak to you about how your local utility company can serve as a valuable partner in supporting school districts as they transition to electric school buses. When it comes to electrifying your school bus fleet, there are several important factors to consider. I'd like to highlight a few key points that can help you as you further explore the process. First, connect with your local utility. Get started by reaching out to your local utility company, as it can be an invaluable resource when navigating the electrification journey for your school buses. By engaging with your utility, you'll receive useful tips and recommendations that will enable you to avoid potential pitfalls and gain insights into best practices for your organization. You can also find out if there are utility incentive programs, like PSE&G's electric vehicle charging program, that might help with the cost of charger installation. Second, choose the right charging infrastructure. Selecting the appropriate charging infrastructure is crucial. To do this effectively, you first determine the mileage driven by each vehicle in your fleet over the course of a typical day. Next, consult with your vehicle manufacturer to estimate the energy consumption of your electric bus. Finally, engage with experts from your utility for guidance and to outline potential charging solutions. Third, be mindful of the utility service upgrade process. Installing EV chargers may necessitate utility upgrades to your facilities to accommodate the increased power demand. Before beginning your project, contact your utility company to understand any required updates to ensure a smooth installation process. Here are the major milestones to plan for. In general, the process starts with the customer submitting a request for new or additional service, meaning the additional power you will need to charge the electric vehicles. The engineering department in the utility will evaluate the existing service capacity at the site and design any work needed to provide the extra power requested. The utility will follow the regulations set forth in the New Jersey Administrative Code to determine whether there is a cost to the customer for that service upgrade. Once the customer makes a commitment to the project, the utility will proceed with the construction work. Finally, know your electric rates and EV charging impacts. Both the energy used and the power rating of your chargers will directly impact your monthly energy bills. Therefore, it's essential to understand the potential impacts on your budget before you move forward with charger purchases. Your utility provider can help you gain a better understanding of how different charging configurations and rates can impact your costs. New Jersey is leading the way for the future of electric transportation. PSE&G is actively preparing for this future by strengthening our grid to ensure reliability, resilience, and affordability. For more information about EV charging, I encourage you to contact your local utility. Thank you for your interest and best of luck on your clean energy transformation.
Thanks, Dawn. That was very helpful, I think, to the school districts. Appreciate your appearing with us. Here are the students and staff of the Patterson Charter School to explain why they love their new electric school
My name is
bus.
Areli,
And I'm John Paul DeFranco.
and as a student of PCSST, we have been given an electric bus to help us with global warming.
With this school bus, it reduces greenhouse gases that other buses release, and we're able to provide a great image for schools around us and in this area, and it helps fight against global warming and all the harmful stuff that things are being released through every day. So this school bus helps a lot with that.
Hi, this is Alireza Görkanlı, the lead person of Patterson Charter School for Science and Technology, located in Patterson. We are thrilled to able to have an electric bus for our school, which was one of our dreams to have, and it came through the federal grants made available to charter schools who are expanding. One of the main reasons to have an electric bus is to be able to role model for our young generation, to show them that as an educational institution, we are caring about their future, our environment, and we want them to understand with even small steps, everyone can contribute towards a greener future. As an institution, we were able to secure the bus, and now we are happy to provide the trips through electric bus without any emission gases, and also educating our students at the same time. Before they enter the bus, they receive a lesson about the significance of electric vehicles, especially the electric buses, and how it contributes for a greener and better future. So they do understand the significance of the bus once they realize it is quieter, it is cleaner, and it is more effective in the long run financially as well.
Hello, my name is Richard Mauricio, a school bus driver for Patterson Charter School and Technology. I'm driving the electric school bus, brand new 2023. Most of the trip for this bus is for events and special trips with the kids. I'm happy because the driving is really smooth. It's no noise. It's no contamination for the environment. And I hope so try to keep this bus running as well. The kids keeping nice the bus inside too.
Ed Selman, I'm the Building and Grounds Coordinator for Patterson Charter School. So these are Tewksbury campus. We opened up 2 years ago, and this is our electric charging station for our school bus. So the building was designed, it was designed for electric vehicles and anticipation for electric bus. Finally, we got our bus, and the bus basically charges charging station charges about 30 watts an hour. Takes about 3.5 to 4 hours to fully charge the bus. And the teachers also, they have access to our charging stations. We have a level 3, and also on the other side we have a level 2 charging station.
Thank you for watching this special presentation on electric school buses, brought to you by the New Jersey Sierra Club with its partners, the New Jersey Clean Cities Coalition and Environment New Jersey. Hopefully, we've answered some of your questions and given you the information you need to start the process of converting your school bus fleet from diesel to electric. We've shared an inspirational message from Senator Booker about why now is a critical time to get started on this journey. We've heard from Patterson Charter School for Science and Technology about their firsthand experience putting this technology to work in their school. Lily Black with the EPA shared some great information about some of the funding and incentives that are available today. We've learned some great pro tips from Peg Hanna with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. Brad Danker with EV Resource Group shared key charging and infrastructure lessons learned to help make the transition to electric school buses easier. And finally, Dawn Neville with Public Service, Electric and Gas shared how your local utility can serve as a valuable partner as you transition to electric school buses. My name is Caroline McCallum, and I'm the co-director of the New Jersey Clean Cities Coalition. If you want to learn more about electric school buses, check out the website shown on the screen for the New Jersey Sierra Club and New Jersey Clean Cities Coalition. There you'll find great resources to help you get started, including the new ebook Bill mentioned, the New Jersey Electric School Bus Buyer's Guide. Remember, for every old, dirty diesel bus you take off the road and replace with clean electric, you are improving the air our children breathe. You're also reducing your fleet's maintenance costs in the long run and contributing to a healthier environment for all. Thanks so much for watching.